Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I am with Phillip. What's up, Phillip?
Good afternoon, and excuse all the pings that people are still going on about it.
Yes, the chaos in Cardiff continues, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the thing. I believe you sent me, right, Phillip? Maybe you sent me or Connor sent me. The Radio Times is trying to debunk it, saying it's bollocks. Right.
Yeah, now let's bear in mind the Radio Times is not an official Doctor Who thing. They're just there to write their own kind of crap. So right. I don't really I look at it as being a bit well they would say that.
Right, fishy. Here's the thing, and I'm not trying to bash Radio Times, but it seems that Radio Times have been saving the BBC constantly with Doctor Who stuff, where everybody goes to the Radio Times immediately. And they're like, this is the way it is. Oh, okay, thank you, Radio Times. And in essence, they're getting more popular. They make more money because people are going to them for this.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, I heard about a meeting at 2:30 your time that they were going to discuss what to do. Nothing has come from this meeting. But I am going to say this, okay? There is quite possibly some truth to this rumor. Because here we go. The rumor said that Chibnall was fired, Jodie walked, Bradley Walsh walked. They had to tell her that her contract stipulates she has to, even if she's going to leave, she has to do a regeneration sequence. She was forced back or ordered back, or else there'd be a lot of lawsuit going on. And she came back and filmed her regeneration. Now, here's the thing. Radio Times is saying it's bollocks, right? But it could be half bullocks because I got a statement that I sent to Connor and I sent to you from my source, and I'm going to read that statement here. And it's very telling because basically it lays it out. So it says here, Chibnall has reportedly stepped down as showrunner.
God damn.
Hello.
Right. The statement says, from my source, Chibnall has reportedly stepped down as showrunner. Means he wasn't fired, so it could mean that the thing was bollocks in that aspect. Stepped down as showrunner of Doctor Who due to what sounds to be creative differences after the screening of produced content which was made for the upcoming season of the show, Series 12. Now,
in other words, this just sucked. They wanted better.
Keep in mind that Chibnall was supposed to be with the show for like 5 years, right? Or whatever. That's what it is. He said, I'm going to give you a series every year for 5 years. All right? He did say that whether a doctor goes or not. And I remember it was always the plan that if Jodie was going to go before Chibnall was going to have another woman, 100% certainty as the role. This is why they changed the logo, because while Chibnall was going to be showrunner, there was never going to be a male. This is what I heard back in the day. So let's just continue with this statement that doesn't say that, but hold on. The remainder of the cast reportedly walked off production of what was set to be a Christmas special, which is a secret Christmas special. Okay? Secret, meaning that the BBC does not want to handle this. They do not want to talk about this. They don't want nobody to know about this. They can't confirm it. They can't deny it. And the reason why it's a secret is that Jodie's regenerating in the Christmas special. All right? So that's what, because then they would be boggled down like, oh my God, who's the 14th Doctor? They don't want to deal with nonsense.
Are you talking about Christmas special at the top of 2020 or at the bottom of 2020?
Not in 2019. We're supposed to have a New Year's special, right? In 2020, and then the series, and then after the series, take a couple months, and then it would be boom, Christmas special in 2020, leading into 2021. Okay, so here it is, and again, I'm gonna read this, and then you can tell me what you think. All right, so let me finish the statement. Okay, so then it says the remainder of the cast walked off out of production of what was set to be a Christmas special, which had been secretly plotted, implying filming for the series is all but done. So this would also mean that if series was done, they didn't really need to be a showrunner. It wasn't him doing that much stuff if he wasn't put in place, okay? Because it was just doing the after effects, the special effects, getting it all done, right? Jodie Whittaker was convinced to return to film a regeneration scene in what can only be assumed as one of a couple of scenes filmed to wrap up the plot of that special, depending on how much had been filmed prior to the bust-up. This would contradict the report that Peter McTighe has been appointed temporary showrunner to oversee the production for Series 12. Therefore, filming must be far from complete, or at least quite a bit away from completion. Otherwise, he may have been brought in to oversee post-production. All right? There have been conflicting reports about a potential delay for the airing of Series 12, which would make little sense should filming have been completed, and there would be little more to do, making it an early 2020 release, respectively. However, the report is that there will be a major delay for the airing. Now, this would make sense because you have a new Doctor, so a major delay in like anything Doctor Who after this. They could even probably delay Series 12 because they want to have more time and they don't want to be pressured to have a new Doctor. So even though it's done, they could technically delay this significantly so they have time to get a Doctor and then I'm messed up. All right, that makes sense also, even though it's finished. However, another report says that a male actor has been brought in to replace Whittaker, and his first series is set for 2021, meaning the current Series 12 footage, they're saying scrapped. I don't think it's going to be scrapped, which is pretty much
probably rewritten.
Whatever's going to happen, I don't know. Otherwise, Series 12 will air as scheduled early 2020, and a 13th series will air in 2021, meaning there will be no gap year, but that also contradicts a report that they say major delays and the show is in ruin and chaos. So here, this is basically what's going on. Now, all of a sudden, last night, after we finished the cast, my source gave me a name and said that the person was contacted. There might have been a contract signed, and it was Michael Sheen from Good Omens that he was going to replace. He was going to be the 14th Doctor. Now, I don't have any documentation to confirm this.
Yeah. Michael Sheen. Oh, yeah. God.
That's what I was told. Now, I don't have anything to confirm this. This is just, they don't have anything to confirm it to me. They're saying that he was approached. There's an emergency. They need a doctor right away. They asked David Tennant to get involved to help him out with, get him. And basically, I don't know about that. Nothing is set in stone. But the thing is that here's the situation. The situation is there is a crisis. If she regenerated, obviously they need to get a new doctor and then film that connected to that, right? So they don't have time, okay? Because also they're under pressure because they are being sued. They have to have a series every year. So in other words, at some point in time, they may even give you more episodes or something because they don't want to lose that money. They're trying to say, look, all right, we were late, but we're going to give you this and we're going to give you this. Hang in there. So that's the thing. What do you guys think?
Now, like I said, what they probably did or probably could do is, like I said, do the whole quantum leap thing. Just show her regenerating.
They're not even going to do that.
I know. I'm just saying this is just a possibility. One of two ideas. One, either do the whole quantum leap thing when you see her regenerating, and then they can step in when they do get the person and add him later on. Or what they could do is they could have the regeneration thing where they regenerate into the new guy, wait, let's say a month to 2 months, then air the or even 3 months, then air the first episode or the New Year's or whatever.
Now, I heard that the New Year's special that was created.
The New Year's special with him, and that gives them enough coverage to film, let's say 5 episodes, 6 episodes.
Right.
To go, okay, here's a filler for you guys, so that way we can get you more episodes. And since Chibnall dropped the ball or BBC dropped the ball, whichever way, we'll give you more episodes here. Now,
I heard that one, they had to have the New Year special because of dollar contract. They don't want to lose that no matter what. There's too much chaos going on. They don't need that. So I heard that it was definitely going to be on New Year's of, I guess, considered 2020, New Year's Day, the first day of 2020. They would have an episode. They would mention the Dalek, maybe show it for 5 minutes or 5 seconds, and then it'd be about something completely different. And then Series 12 would be significantly delayed because they honored the Dalek contract. They don't have to do the Daleks. And then they would really push Series 12 until September 2020, which would
give
be
them a chance to have the Christmas special.
Christmas special, we're already filmed, and Christmas she would regenerate, and then, they're filming normally in 20, so that's they're filming in 2020 for 2021.
Yeah.
The series would be ready. The series would start in April of 2021. So I mean that's what I heard.
So we basically get a spring, summer.
Like Moffat had it in April. When Series 5 Moffat was in April. That was like around the nice time for Doctor Who to come out.
Yeah, spring, summer.
Like
where everybody is.
And April, so it'll be right when spring starts or whatever. Yeah. So, and again, delaying it, of course, would be that they're filming now in 2020. Well, not now. They were filming in 2020 while the series airs. Because again, all they need to do is put out a New Year's special to keep the Dalek contract, keep them happy. Now, of course, this is gonna Chibnall's stupid thing about every series is a year so they can get millions, ruin them. So at some point in time, they are going to have to, crunch time, give more. And they understand that because they're not happy. Okay, so they want to make the people happy.
They should have had 11 to 12 episodes as it was.
What might happen,
which kind of strange is that nobody bitched, moaned, complained about how they shortened her episodes.
What I think the deal in place is, what I think the deal in place is that even though Chibnall had said, I doctor every year, what is that? Is that you, Phillip? Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying my voice down.
Even though there's doctor every year, I think the BBC told all these people, listen, we're going to give you doctor every year, but starting in 2020. All right, we're gonna extend the contract thing. You don't have to pay us the last year. Starting in 2020, you will have doctor every year for 5 years. This guy is gone. We took care of it. He's the reason why it was delayed. Meanwhile, Chibnall probably quit because what happened was probably finished filming Series 12. Probably they filmed the regeneration. She was gonna leave. He was technically maybe he would have stayed on. I don't know. But the thing is that they didn't want him anyway, and he quit. So it was sort of a mutual thing probably anyway, I think. Because there's too much, here's the thing, there's too much stuff going on with some of this can't be a realm of truth. Nobody is literally, I don't know why everybody's being quiet about it.
Nobody's 100% innocent.
And Radio Times, let me tell you something, Radio Times, they constantly bailing them out every single time.
And they're not exactly a reputable source anyway. They're
just
another.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're giving them money, honestly. What do you say, Connor?
It's possible about that because Radio Times are not 100% accurate. They're no more accurate, as a good friend of ours pointed out, than Gizmodo or IO9 or all them sort of fanzine websites. Right. As far as this goes, for a start, that Dalek contract does not exist. It's horseshit. But this situation about Chibnall and Jodie, I'm not sure yet.
It's too quick to be, what's the word I'm looking for? It sounds like damage limitation to me.
I believe there might be an aspect. I'm so 50-50 on this right now. I'm actually not sure what to believe.
Yeah.
Because, there's no smoke without fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Chibnall has a history of being difficult to work with, apparently.
I'm sorry, the BB,
you know what?
the head honchos in charge, they should have stepped in and said,
and you know what? If they said that Series 12 has already been done in the can, why wasn't there any presence of them at Comic-Con this year?
Because they don't want. Here's the thing. They normally, wait. Let me finish, Scott. Normally, let me say. Normally, when they wrap production, they tell you we wrapped. It's a wrap, but they wouldn't tell you if she regenerates. They would keep it a secret because they don't want them on their ass. Because
what happened the last time.
They want to make it like it's not done. They're gonna
just that train scene that was leaked.
They're not going to say anything. They're going to omit that it's done. It's done. They did a Christmas special. They're not going to say shit because they don't want to be. They don't want to be bothered when they're trying to get a doctor. So again, I do believe that Series 12, as long as you have a New Year's special on January the 1st of 2020, that they will severely delay Series 12. Because if you remember, there was a reason why they gave us a New Year's special last time. And it wasn't because Chibnall wanted to. It's because he had to, because they knew that there might be a problem where Doctor Who may not air in 2019. So at least they could say, hey, here it is. Doctor Who was there. New Year's 2019. We talk every year, man. Every year. So I'm telling you, that's why. So you're going to get a New Year's special 2020, and you're not going to get Series 12 until freaking probably August or September, because they're going to be filming with the new Doctor. You're not going to know crap, and then we'll probably find out.
With the little luck, with a new showrunner, if we get one, with a little luck, this one will have at least the same mentality as the ones prior to.
I heard a massive, not reboot in the sense of retconning anything, but they're not even going to acknowledge anything to do with her. Even though it happens, it's going to be purely like from Moffat era, and Russell T era, heavily connected to Russell T Davis and Moffat's era, where it's just, you're going to forget about this. Like, it's just going to go, they're going to actually bring up stuff, from what I heard from my source, connected to Russell T Davis and Moffat's era, like key points that they never finished, or certain things.
In other words, she might be actually from a...
No, she's not. No, she's not. She exists, Scott. One more time, they're not going to erase the Doctor. I know you don't. You want that. No, they're not going to do that. No, I know, but they're not going to do that. They're not retconning her at all. They're just not going to mention her. They're going to be picking up big key things about Gallifrey, trying to make sense of, how they were saved, blah, blah, blah. They're going to do different things about Madame Kavarian, all these different things, the angels, weeping angels. It's going to be like, if you skipped over Jodie and you went to that, you wouldn't be confused, because it would be like, boom, right into it. So that's what it's going to be. Yeah. They're not going to erase it. They're just not going to acknowledge it.
There's another important situation to this. The fact of the promotional-wise and merchandise. Nothing has been good for promotion and
correct, and that's going to change.
Therefore, I can see this is why this is happening, because they're not selling Jodie at all in any shape or form. Therefore, they had to scrap her out and get someone else in to boost the show. Otherwise,
they tried to get the female buyer by calling it Her Universe. All the Doctor Who merchandise now is called Her Universe because it's aimed towards her, females. Yeah. And it didn't take. It failed. It didn't. So they have to see how long they have that contract for with Her Universe, because that's also a contract, right? That they have to end that contract, and they're gonna change the logo, they're gonna change the TARDIS, and we may even have an Asian companion, because again,
fine. Hey, I'll take that.
Something has to give with the China deal.
When you mentioned the Asian companion, that's probably to do with Sacha Dhawan, because if he is tied into Doctor
Who, still surprised they haven't done that.
It could be that he may not be the companion, but he might be actually either the Doctor or the Master, and that's where the Asian thing comes from.
Okay, he's Asian.
Well, he is in a sense when you look at him.
Is he Asian or not?
I would say so. Yeah.
Not that he just looks like he's like this. Yeah. Like,
thanks me for us being flagged there, Joe.
I mean, look, listen. YouTube already flagged. I'm the one who's already flagged. Listen, YouTube flagged me already for 1600. I'm pissed off about that. Pissed, by the way.
But getting back to the whole
with a name like Sacha Dhawan, it's got to be Asian anyway. That's not an
Why
English
is that
name.
got to be Asian?
Because it's not.
Isn't that like? Isn't he like Muslim? What is he?
Well, of that kind of ilk. I can't be specific about it. I don't know.
All right, Connor, you're quiet. Your phone ringing up off the wall, Connor.
Well, at least getting back to the whole thing of disregarding her, there was a DS9 adventure where they had to put the trill in somebody else for a time. So I wonder if they're going to go.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Temporary host until Dax.
Yeah, temporary host.
Right. Okay. Again, she's not erased as a doctor. She's never going to be erased.
I know.
But they're just not going to mention her.
I know she's not.
And if you have any specials, you probably won't be in it. Probably.
I am still wondering about one thing, though. They haven't answered. Did she get her sonic bra from the same place that Donna got?
You're bad. You're bad. Listen, I honestly think that battle they had with the BBC carries weight, and I think that the decision was made up already. They were going to leave, or they were going to have a.
I think it was actually done probably mid series 11.
I think Jody's mind was.
So they were having with Chibnall, and I thought, okay, we've tried discussing it, we've had meetings, we haven't been able to resolve it. So, like,
I think Jody said it,
or close to the end of the season, it's like, Chibnall, you're done.
Well, I think Jody.
I
think Jody said, look, regardless, if we're going to be out or not, even if you stay, I'm out. Like, that's it, because I'm not dealing with this nonsense or whatever. And he says, I'm not. He wasn't sure if he was going to be out, but obviously I think he's going to be. Here's the thing: there's too many different things. The fact that he had to get drunk to sign the deal. The fact that it's like, who is this person that you need to go and you have to take? How many times you're going to ask this person to be showrunner? Why are we asking this person? Why is this person the go-to?
Yeah, why? Why is he?
Why did they had all their faith and everything, all their eggs in the basket towards Chibnall? Why wasn't there numerous people? Why didn't they make effort? And the fact he had to be the showrunner. Why? Do you really
unless okay, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate for a second. Unless he was their cheapest choice.
You know what? That could be a possibility. They
Everybody else probably they says, okay, I'll do Doctor Who, but you have to give me XYZ amount.
Meaning it wasn't that he would give him money for Doctor Who.
I want this amount.
Well, it wasn't even an amount.
Here, we'll give you this. Okay, you give me this, and he was the lowest bid on the showrunner.
But it was the lowest bid, but he would get perks, meaning he would do 5 different shows or 5 different telemovies or something for the BBC where solidify his contract that when Doctor was off the air, he will do 5 different movies no matter what.
And he was the one that said that he wanted to be the first one to have a female doctor. So they thought.
Well, he wasn't really. Moffat. That's bullshit. Moffat brainwashed.
Because he had that.
Moffat brainwashed
fatal
him.
Death.
He wanted to appease Moffat. Moffat brainwashed the shit out of him. It was listen.
Well, hang on. How can you brainwash someone?
Because Moffat said every year, female, 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 female. Let me tell you something. If somebody yells in your ear every single day, the doctor's female, the doctor's a female, doctor's a female. Eventually, Chris Chibnall's going to think, I think I want the doctor to be a female because it's so much. So it was like subliminal messages, like almost on the screen. It would say, next doctor's a female. So Chibnall just went with it, thinking it's his own idea. No, it wasn't, because Moffat wanted to do it. Moffat planted the seeds.
Hang on. If Moffat wanted to do it himself, why didn't he just stuck it?
Because he was leaving. So he picked the person. He picked the person that he knew would make the doctor a female. That's the only reason he picked him.
Somebody who could possibly bend.
He picked Chibnall not because he was the right man for the job, because he was the only one that agreed with Moffat's vision of the doctor being a female. I bet you it was a selfish reason that Moffat chose him, just to get what he wanted.
Like I said, he was probably the lowest. He was probably the lowest individual who came to him. So,
yeah. And it's not only that; it's the fact that Moffat has never been about like money, because money. They gave him a check for Paternoster Gang, a significant check, and if you remember, he says, "I got this check and I ripped it up." Okay, it's different with him. The rules have changed with Moffat. So he has an agenda. He's always had an agenda. If I'm going to leave Doctor Who, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to choose the person that does what I want. Meaning not that I want a female doctor. He can believe all he wants. He wants a female doctor. I really wanted it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to him.
But like I said again, though, if he wanted it, if that's what he wanted, he should have stuck around
Because
and
he was
done it
leaving.
himself.
He was done. He was
Doesn't
done.
matter. What's the point of saying you're done if you want things your way? Go and do it yourself.
Because he's he's an egomaniac. Okay, he was able to do this though. He was able to. Everybody believes it's Chibnall. It wasn't, and Chibnall believes it's Chibnall, and it wasn't Chibnall because Chibnall worked on the Moffat, and Moffat kept fucking making them throw up about, oh, you could be Queen of Gallifrey, you could be constantly. So it was Moffat all along, like honestly, and he's laughing right now, laughing because that's the last thing he wants. Remember how he was always about statistics? Remember how he had like a checkbook, sort of like people checking out people's baseball records. They got how many home runs, how many this. My doctor's the oldest doctor. Check. My doctor has beaten the most people. My doctor's unstoppable. Everybody goes to my doctor. My 11th. Everything's my 11th. My 11th saved Gallifrey because technically he pushed the button to stop it. So it was always statistics with Moffat. And if you remember, Moffat did not want to have anybody disrupt his statistics. That's why he never had his 11th Doctor go up against the Master. Because he always wanted the 11th Doctor to be the most. He is the beast. He's the one that's called the beast. That everybody was afraid of him. Everybody was cowering him. He got armies like that. He wanted to have the ultimate Doctor bragging rights. And when it was done, and he wanted to continue that, he did that whole story with Capaldi. That, you know, is he maybe older? Is he billions of years? Or maybe not. But either way, you know, he was the one to solve the regeneration problem. He wanted to be the one to do everything. So that way, whoever left, no matter what they did, they could never come close. And that's what it was. It was a statistics person. He was like, you know, it was ridiculous. It was a different thing to him.
So are you basically saying that Moffat's responsible for this whole blow up in the face with the female doctor?
Yes.
That's a tall order.
Absolutely. Moffat has to choose his successor, right? Moffat could have chose Gatiss. Moffat could have chose anybody, okay? Why is he going after just the one person? And notice the one person who worked for him, under him, listened to him, his own person, his own people. He's like, I want the doctor to be a woman one day. I think that I want that too. Oh yeah, you're going to be showing. I'm telling you, he got what he wanted, and now this is why he's totally spacing himself away from Doctor Who. He doesn't want it to come back to haunt him like he did it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not with Doctor anymore. He got what he wanted, man. He got what he wanted because he even told Chibnall also. He said, and this was more obvious than the woman thing. He said to him, if you remember, you can't do a multi-doctor story. Don't do it. Don't do it for like 10 years. He wanted to make it that Chibnall would never do a multi-doctor story while he was showrunner. So that way you could say, oh, Moffat did it. Look at all the ones Moffat did. Because Moffat was mad about them, mad at him not having all the classic doctors. So he wanted to use the argument, well, you're talking about me not bringing about the classic doctors. Chibnall didn't when he was showrunner for 5 years. He said that. He told him, don't do it. He gave him advice. Whatever you do, don't do a multi-doctor story. Why would he do that? Because he doesn't want him to do it. And Chibnall was going to do that. Like, totally listen. There's a reason for it.
You know what? I think Moffat is a disgusting human being. What a dickhead, honestly. Fuck Moffat.
You remember those statements, Connor.
No, I don't, to be honest. 1 second.
Okay. Everybody's running with this Chaos and Cardiff thing. There's really not Chaos and Cardiff. It's a Doctor Who Chaos and Cardiff. So don't think like this. Like, oh my God! This Chaos with this whole thing. Told you, Moffat's like this. Ha! 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 This is what he is, man. He got what he wanted, Philip.
Well, only for a short while, because obviously, if they think to believe it's no longer a viable, workable thing, so the BBC are fed up with it. It's not working for them. Kick it out and start again.
First person to know anything was Russell T Davies too. Also, you notice that because Moffat knew it because Russell T. Davis knew it. So Moffat knew that they chose Jodie Whittaker because wasn't told by Chibnall. He was told by Russell T. Davis. So Russell T. Davis and Moffat are still like kind of in the club. Okay, they're part of the clique. They're know stuff more before anybody else does.
Yeah.
And out of respect, they tell them what the episodes are about. They tell them what this is. I'm telling you, man, this is Moffat's fault. It's Moffat's fault, honestly. It is. It is.
Well, even if it is, well, I mean, that's by the by now.
Well, here's the thing. Chibnall didn't have to be a douche. He could have just been good.
Mm-hmm.
But Moffat worked with him. He knew how he was. He knew he was going to do this shit show. He wanted to take away that he had low ratings, Moffat. So he wanted this guy to fail so everybody look at this guy like an asshole. Come on. Are you kidding me? Of course he did. Because you're not mentioning how Moffat's ratings were failing towards the end because he just lost it or whatever. You're looking at Chibnall like, what a fuck up that is, right? That's all everybody's talking about is what a fucked up shit this is. That season was fucked up. What's going on is fucked up. What is he doing? It's fucked up. That's what everybody's talking about right now. Chibnall. Chibs. And Moffat is just a distant memory. But he orchestrated.
Chibs and Witless.
He is the author of Doctor Who's destruction. Moffat.
I agree to a certain level on that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You do agree. Because you know, what a ball buster. Especially like getting in to do classic Doctors. He really screwed with you by not getting any classic Doctors, yet he throws Tom Baker in there.
Yeah,
to maybe insinuate. To insinuate he was a future version of the past Doctor choosing the same face. Come on.
Yeah. Happened. Yeah,
so you can't say he didn't get any classic Doctors because he got one, not like 4.
And then at the end of that one episode, you see that whole sprawling group of doctors in the background.
And you can't say, too, with the time crash, you got Peter Davison, which is a classic Doctor. So you can't say he never got classic Doctors because he did.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he knew they were upset. So he's like, yeah, I'll appear in it. Sure. And you're like, well, and they're like protesting why they can't be in the show. So they made a damn joke about it. And they got money to be in that. They got paid. And Moffat was happy because, he kind of deflected the situation that it was true. That he didn't want any classic Doctors. But he played the gag like, he's a dick, playing with the little figures in his room.
Yeah.
Sure loved that shit. He loved that shit because he's like, if they really hated him, would they do that special with him? See? It's all outsmarting everybody. He's outsmarting everybody. Like, totally. We talked about this, how we knew his exit strategy, right, Scott? We're like, the first thing he's going to do is to do a Doctor Who book. Weren't we right about that? We were right about that. I'm like, he's gonna do all these books to fill in the gaps. You're gonna get these books because you want to see what happened with Doctor Who.
Yeah,
we were right though, and him and Russell T. Davis did it together. We were right about that. We called that shit like years before he did it, and we knew he was gonna do something else. I knew he was gonna do some major effing series for the BBC that when he would be on the top again, and he would do Dracula. I knew it. Not that I knew it was actually Dracula, but I knew he was going to do a big thing. And he's purposely trolling everybody and effing with everybody because he's doing Time Traveler's Wife. Why is he doing Time Traveler's Wife? Going to confuse the shit out of everybody because he stole from that book the whole River Song thing. Stole it, where they were meeting out of order. He totally took it from that. So now how funny is that? You can't say he stole it if he's part of the same product. That people are going to be confused. They don't think he was part of it back then because he wasn't, but he is now. In fact, I even said he would go far as putting Alex Kingston in the effing show as a cop or something, and the guy is like bouncing around in time out of order for spite. So.
Deep breath, Joe. Deep breath.
I'm surprised he's not even in Bill and Ted because he stole the whole time travel theory.
Well,
the parody.
Because 2-1.
From the first one. He stole it.
And when people walking back up.
You got that in Big Bang. You got that in Big Bang. Wrote notes to himself, leaving it for his future self. Like, he stole that. And Wedding River Song, leaving a note, like, for the impossible. Like, no, he stole that from Bill and Ted, totally. So I wouldn't be surprised if
there's nothing wrong with that, though. There's nothing wrong with borrowing from other sources.
I know, but and even the Spock thing. I mean, that was Rusty Davis, like the mind meld, the Vulcan mind meld. It's the Gallifreyan mind meld now.
At least he didn't go the Superman angle where he kissed her to make her forget.
No, but he made a superhero.
I know.
Oh,
you wonder why he made a superhero? We joked with him. Remember, Scott? We were on the cast. What are you going to do next, Moffat? I remember that cast. I said, what are you going to do next, Moffat? You're going to go watch Avengers and you're going to make a superhero? There was a cast, I said that. And then years later, he did the fucking Mysterio one. So this mother, he's the architect of the destruction.
Fuck Moffat.
You know it. If you don't think so, think about it. Absolutely.
He
you know what I think is
prison.
You know what I think is funny? There was an NES game several years ago. It's called Galago 13.
Yeah, I remember.
There was a sequel called The Moffat Conspiracy.
Ha!
Yeah,
that's funny.
Coincidence?
He's laughing his ass off right now.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he wanted this to fall. So that way, with Doctor Who out of the way, he could do Doctor Who movies. And because he has contacts in Hollywood with Steven Spielberg and everything, they could get...
Well, look at the fact that there's the discussion of Tenet and all that. Isn't it funny how that comes out? How many weeks before this?
Right, and then you would have automatically Moffat be involved. Because it would be like Torchwood, you show the Doctor, you show this, and then the sequel would be technically Doctor Who. Which original plan was Russell T Davies to go overseas, do Torchwood, so he could bring Doctor Who in, and Moffat could come in and be like, all right, we're a big happy family. I'm doing Doctor Who, you're doing Torchwood, we're great, it's big in the States, whatever. So now, they didn't like it, Moffat, when somebody was involved with the Doctor Who movie, and he was like threatening the BBC, if you do this, I'm not doing Sherlock season this. I'm not doing this. My guys won't do it. Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman won't do it because you got me mad. This is what was going on. And his wife was in the BBC. So she had to pull some strings too because she was in the BBC, his wife. So don't tell me anything. So he thought he was getting fired. He hid the effing 50th anniversary script in his computer because he was afraid he was getting fired. This is all the stuff I heard. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised you see a Doctor with Moffat's name on it.
I think it's slightly unfair that you're throwing it all at Moffat's door. But
is it?
Yeah.
Is it really? Think about it. Think about it really deeply, Philip.
If I think my brain will crack.
Moffat is an intellectual genius. He could be a real supervillain in real life. Like he's a master planner.
The past Whovian thing about how he managed to have that little manipulation type of thing.
Listen, you got to wonder. Here's the thing, right? He worked for Russell T Davies, right? Russell T Davies brought Doctor Who back, right? He gained so much trust with Russell T Davies that Russell T Davies originally was going to let him do the first finale, for season 1, The Parting of the Ways. He was going to let him do it, and Moffat couldn't do it, whatever, right? He built himself up in Russell T Davies. He always wanted to be showrunner. He always wanted to take over. He was Russell T Davies' secret right-hand man. All right? Anything was going on with Doctor Who. They were talking to each other. He was only talking to Moffat. Moffat's like, no, save the Doctor's daughter. Like, implementing stuff that he wasn't even writing the script. And it was like, okay, right? He had power. And when the time came, he's like, let me do it. And Russell T Davies is like, absolutely. There's a reason. He got himself in there purposely. Purposely. It was orchestrated. He is a master planner. He is doing stuff behind the scenes to this day where he's got Dracula in place, right? Which basically, because of the attention, is giving him a movie Jekyll in the States, which is great, right? Which he's tying himself with Chris Evans, that he wants to be in the role, which would connect him to Disney and Marvel and possibly in the future doing that. This is why he's got Karen Gillan in the MCU, which would be a help. He's playing everybody, putting them in. It's true.
I don't know.
Feelers out there everywhere.
Actually, I will concede that the best two things Moffat ever did was discover Karen Gillan and give Peter Capaldi that chance.
Yes.
Okay.
Although he couldn't control Capaldi, so he was angry about that. But yes, I agree. All right, guys. It's been a long cast. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye for now.
Okay.